What a twist in one of the most high-profile murder cases in America. The South Carolina Supreme Court has overturned Alex Murdaugh's double murder conviction, throwing out the guilty verdict in the killings of his wife Maggie and son Paul, and ordering a new trial. In a unanimous decision, the court ruled that Murdaugh didn't receive a fair trial due to allegations of jury tampering and improper influence by former Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill, with the justices writing how Hill, quote, placed her fingers on the scales of justice, thereby denying Murdaugh his right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. You see, the problem was Hill was accused of making comments to the jury about Murdaugh's guilt, encouraging a quick verdict, discussing the case outside normal procedures, and seeking publicity for her book about the trial. And in fact, back in December, she pleaded guilty to criminal misconduct, obstruction of justice, perjury for showing a reporter sealed court exhibits, lying about it, taking improper bonuses, using her office to promote her book. Now, Murdaugh was convicted back in 2023 after prosecutors argued that he murdered his wife and son at the family's South Carolina hunting property, all in this desperate attempt to distract from a growing web of financial crimes and pressure over missing money. Look that way, right? Now, there were no eyewitnesses, but do we remember the Snapchat video that was recorded by Paul Murdaugh, placed Alex Murdaugh at the crime scene just moments before the shootings after he said that he wasn't there? Now, Murdaugh took the stand in his own defense, denied killing his family. He's continued to maintain his innocence, but Attorney General Alan Wilson announced he plans to retry the former lawyer. Now, to be clear, Murdaugh is not walking free tonight. No. He remains behind bars, serving decades in prison for a series of financial crimes, including stealing millions of dollars from clients and the family of his late housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. One of the people that he allegedly stole money from was his childhood friend, Jordan Jinks.
I want everybody to know, Judge, I need you to know, I'm not crying because of what he stole from me. I'm crying for what he did to everybody in the suit. What kind of animal are you?
And Jordan Jinks joins me live right now. Thank you so much for taking the time. Your reaction, the murder conviction overturned, I wonder if this is a mix of emotions for you.
Absolutely.
Well, how do you feel? Because on one hand, I imagine you're disappointed, but also, are you nervous that you might have to relive this all over again?
Not necessarily, and I won't even say that I'm disappointed. I kind of felt when I started hearing the rumors of jury tampering and such, I kind of felt as savvy as Mr. Harpoonian and Alex are, they were going to find the cracks. Running water misses no holes.
So let me ask you about that, because, you know, I will tell you, I'm not surprised that this happened, given what Hill was accused of doing. And I say this all the time, especially in the cases where the evidence is really strong against the defendant. My legal opinion, it was strong against Alex Murdaugh. You got to make sure, no matter what, every defendant is granted every right, gets a fair trial, because this is what could happen. So to those who say it's necessary that he gets a retrial, I don't care what he was accused of doing, I don't care that he was convicted, he deserves a retrial, you say?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Everybody in this country deserves a fair trial.
Do you think it's possible that this retrial, he's going to get a fair trial? Everybody, so many people know about this case, and so many people saw that he was found guilty, and a lot of people think he's guilty.
If there was a way for you to change the venue anywhere in this country, it's going to be hard to get a fair trial because there's so much publicity on the case.
That's true. That's true. Do you think he'll be convicted again?
That's hard to say. If I had a law degree, I probably could answer that question better.
Well, look, the one thing that might be different is the state Supreme Court that made this decision, they said that too much of the financial crime evidence came in. They think it should be limited. I mean, do you, if you have to have a role in this case, or you're going to testify in this case, how do you feel about that?
Eliminate no parts of the financial crimes. It needs to be heard, and every part of it needs to be presented for trial.
Do you still talk to Alex's family? I mean, the Murdaugh name, I understand. Does it still carry weight in the area, or is that influence, that power, is it all gone?
Well, I mean, the so-called power was, that's a legacy. That's a generational legacy of attorneys, lawyers, solicitors in that family. And as far as carrying weight, that name will forever carry weight.
Do you talk to anybody from the family?
I do. I just had a conversation with Mr. John Paul, younger brother.
And I'm not going to ask.
weeks ago.
I'm not going to ask you what the contents of that conversation were, unless you want to share it. I guess when I look at this, is I wonder, do you say to yourself, I still can't believe my friend, the guy that I knew, did all this? Like, you know, he stole this money. He was found guilty of murdering his family. You heard him take the stand. It'll be a question if he takes the stand again. I mean, look, didn't do so great the first time. Do you look at this and say, I can't believe he did this? Maybe he changed. I mean, what do you think about when you look at him?
First of all, I want to say, as arrogant as I know Alex to be, I wasn't surprised that he took the stand. I would have never took the stand. But I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I'm going to hold that thought.
Oh, let me ask you this. Let's say he's right. Let's say he's sitting next to me right now. You're talking to him one-on-one. If you had a chance to say anything to him right now at this point in time, what would you say to Alex Murdaugh?
Number one question is why? There was a lot of people that you hurt. You stole money from. You stole life-changing money from a lot of people. But me talking about me personally, I would have done anything in this world for you, sir. I don't understand what would make you steal from me and forge my name.
It's a great question, and I don't know if we'll ever get the straight answer to it. Jordan Jinks, I appreciate you coming on. I know it's a strange time with what's going on, but appreciate you sharing your thoughts with me. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.